Good evening. I just want to say thank you for inviting us to the celebration. We're happy to be here. And tonight, our program is the Punana program. And to start out the program, I'm going to tell you a story about Kakashtani. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Kakashtani. Austin Hammond used to tell the story about Kakashtani, and Peter C. Johnson used to tell a story, and I'm shaking in my boots thinking that I'm trying to fill their shoes. But I just want to tell the story of how Kakashtani and his nephews prepared to go into the interior, and they had to go about 1,000 miles. And there was no road to travel by car or by bus or by whatever. They had to hike into the interior. And so when they went into the interior, they prepared all kinds of trade goods to bring with them so they could trade the people up there. And so Kakashtani and his nephews were prepared to go, and the nephews kept saying, "Is it time to go? Is it time to go? Let's go." But Kakashtani said, "No, it's too soon." He said, "I want you to watch the Yanaate. When it gets about this high, then it's time to go." And so he told his nephews, "Be sure and watch that Yanaate now, and you'll let me know. When it's that high, we can leave." And so the nephews started preparing some things to bring on the trip to the interior to trade. And finally it was time to go. And so they went to their uncle Kakashtani, and he said, yes, nephews, it's time to go." So they gathered up all the trade goods and loaded them on their backs, and they headed up into the interior. And I don't know how many of you have ever driven up towards the interior. You have seen how desolate it looks. It looks like a desert. In fact, I think it is a desert. But they walked up that way, and it may have been real cold still, but there were a lot of green buds coming out now, and so they knew that they had to hurry. And so they started marching up, and they reached their destination without any problems. And so they did their trading. They traded all their goods, they looked through all the goods, and they looked at the things that the interior people had. And the interior people were so grateful for the things that Kakashtani and his nephews brought that they said, "We want to give you some songs to bring back with you, just to show our appreciation." So they called Kakashtani to them, and they started teaching him the songs that they wanted to give him. And when they felt that Kakashtani knew those songs well enough, they said, "You can go now because you know the songs." And so Kakashtani and his nephews gathered up all their belongings and headed back. They were all excited. They wanted to get home. They loved being on the trip with Kakashtani, but they were anxious to be heading home. And so they loaded up all their stuff on the back and started walking towards home. As they were traveling along, Kakashtani injured himself. It wasn't a real bad injury as today goes, but because there was no way to get a hold of a doctor or a nurse or some medic to come and help him, Kakashtani called his nephews together and said, I can't make it, and I'm only going to slow you down. So I want you to build me a shelter right here. This looks like a real good spot. I want you to bring in a lot of firewood. I want you to pile all the firewood right here. And then I want you to start a big fire. I want you to leave some food for me and some blankets, some furs that I can sleep on. And so they did that. They built him a nice shelter, and they brought a lot of wood for him to use, and they felt comfortable that he would be good until they came back. But Kakastani thought about that and called his nephews to him, and he said, I want you to learn these songs. I want you to bring the songs to the people, because the song was an appreciation of the interior people to us. And it's important that they hear the songs when you get back home. And so he called his nephews together and he taught them the songs. They sang the songs over and over, and I know when you're trying to learn something, pretty soon you feel like, wow, I don't want to sing that anymore. But Kakastani was very patient with his nephews, and he taught them the songs. And when he felt that they knew the songs well enough, he said, okay, now you guys are ready to go home. And so the nephews packed up their belongings, and before they went, Kakastani said, build me the fire up. He said, I don't want to feel cold when you guys are leaving me. And so they built him a huge fire. And he said, when you're leaving, I want you to be singing one of the songs so I can just hear you. As you walk along, I can hear you singing the song. And I'll know that you're doing fine as you walk along. But don't forget, I want you to tell the people that these songs were given to us because they liked the things we brought to them, that we traded. And so the nephews went feeling good about what they had done, that the trading was good, and they had the songs and they learned the songs. And so they started walking down, and Kakastani could hear them. And as he was listening to them, they were getting farther and farther away, he thought to himself, there's no way that I can survive a winter up here. There's nothing I can do. And he thought about that, and his soul was so heavy that all he could do was, ooh, ooh. That was the extent of all that he could do, knowing he could not survive there. And so Kakastani threw himself on the fire. And the nephews didn't know what had happened until they got home and told the people, we're going back for Kakastani. And they said, no, you can't go back because it's going to be too much snow, and you'll get stuck up there. And so they knew that Kakastani was no more.
while he's tying his boot, I would just like to say thank you also to the Heritage Foundation for inviting the Gay Sun dancers from Haynes to participate in this wondrous occasion, and I look forward to it every 2 years. Thank you. Goodness, cheese ho ho.
I was just getting warmed up, and they said to cut it off. I just wanted to mention a few things on my mind that I wanted to get off. As you notice in the back row there, my mother, my auntie Matilda Lewis, Elsie Malott, Ann Keener, and I think Mary Keene is around here someplace. But Matilda Lewis, they've been with me for almost 40 years dancing here, coming down. Maybe a little longer on some of us, but I just wanted to say it's wonderful to have the old ladies so faithful, backing me up and letting me lead them in the way that I led them. But I just wanted to say it's wonderful to have them be so dedicated to the dancing and the culture and the stuff that is going on. And I just wanted to mention them because it takes a lot of hard work to come up here and just to move around a little bit. All right? You'll have to excuse my mother. She was just raising cane. She wanted to dance, and they cut it off. This is the part I always like. All right, just bear with me.